Hi guys, we are back. Episode 2, Dare to Speak. I'm Ling.
I'm Roy.
I'm Liam.
I'm Yan.
Now, last episode we told you a little bit about us and why we wanted to do Dare to Speak. It is a talk show. It is for you and by you. This is that all four of us will be presenting the topics as it goes at each episode. So this episode, Roy will be taking away on the first topic that we'll be talking about.
Okay, thank you for the warm opening, Ling. Welcome everyone, audience, and also the host for today's episode. Welcome to episode 2 of Dare to Speak. Today we are diving straight into one of the difficult topics that we as humankind have ever faced, and that is to do with failure. Hence, episode 2 will be titled Dare to Fail. So we're going to be going around, the four of us, and if you'd like to join in on that conversation, please just shoot us a comment on the YouTube post or even in the Telegram groups. Just get in touch. We are all open for failures here. We are
Open for failures. Well, we all failed before, and then I'm sure we are here no difference from you. We just want to share our story so that you can come back to us and tell us what failure stories that you want to hear. How do you cope with it? How do you come about it?
As much as there's room for improvement, there's also always room for failures.
Yes.
Should we get straight into the first question for all four of us? Okay.
Yes.
My first question directed to Coco Liam. Or is it Liam? Liam Coco. Can you share with us a specific failure? And if you don't mind elaborating how you cope with it, and what was the lesson to be learned?
Wow, a lot of questions this one.
Okay, share a specific failure.
The one failure that I always tell that reminds me, right, is my emotion. Okay, last time, before, during like high school so I had like anger management, so easily get emotional towards people. So I made a lot of rash decision, then hurt other people So there were a lot of bad decisions made. For example, the one of it led to my father's pass away. That was the worst failure that I had. That caused me a lot of family issue, which is my emotion. When my father went into ICU, right, the first thing, because he collapsed very suddenly, he's like just popped, and I didn't know what to do because I was young and I just panicked. I wasn't calm, so I just simply called my uncle, called everybody, but I didn't tend to my father. So when they all came, right, of course we were quite wealthy. I think for those wealthy people know that the first thing they find is will and money and stuff. Correct. And of course my father was not those kind of people who care about money. He cared about health. So when those people came, right, nobody sent him to the hospital. And
I was just focusing on the non-importance
Correct. And the worst part was that because my father owns a safe, he keeps everything in his own safe rather than a bank. So when people came, right, my uncle came, and my mom, she came back. The first thing they focused was the assets, and I had no idea. I'm like, dude, guys, my father's is lying down there. What are you guys doing? And he needs the hospital, and all I can do was like shouting and fighting. I wasn't calm enough to think.
Okay.
Yeah, so I let the emotion get to me.
Get the better of you.
Correct. And that was the first thing that I know that actually, if I were to keep calm, right, if I know what to do, if I kept calm, right, I will know
what to do.
Yes, what is important. But instead, I just kept on shouting, kept on fighting. We were fighting non-stop instead of taking care of my father's well-being. That was the worst failure for me to not manage my emotion. So after that, I've been nowadays into this society. Of course, there's a lot of things that you have to stress about. Maybe I think the boss also can make you pissed at him. You feel like want to kill him. All this emotion, right? If you can manage them well, right, you actually can basically conquer the world. You know how to strategize.
Controlling EQ is one of the things.
Do you have any pointers on how do you manage your emotions? Any tips or any steps, framework, something?
Not really. Actually, it takes progress.
Practice.
Correct. The progress actually taught me the hard way. I did not notice until when the problems arise. it's like I'll ask myself, why does this thing happen? Then I notice, because I was not calm enough to face this situation. I was too emotional.
On to that note, I think just now the question that Roy asked, what's the takeaway? How do you cope with it?
Yeah.
I think the key question here is failing to control emotions is a human behavior that we cannot run away because it's emotions. But I think when it comes to controlling EQ, I think the key thing you need to do here is that stop noises.
Correct.
I think
I agree.
that's where we learn our lessons already after we fail whatever we fail on, and the coping part will be stop the noise. Stop the noise, stop the inner demon. I think for more detail about how to cope the inner demon, Roy will take that on the next episode with Roy.
Yeah, I think his story has opened up an interesting topic, managing your emotions.
Correct.
And there's that emotion wheel with different colors, but when you break it down, it's the main four lah: glad, mad, sad,
Disappointment.
scared.
Correct.
Glad, mad, sad, scared. And life is so funny that you can go through all four in just the blink of an eye. In
Correct.
just like 5 minutes, you can go through all four emotions. You can be happy and then suddenly you're sad, mad, scared. But managing your emotion, that is a very interesting topic. And like for me, sometimes this was before when I was with my previous flame, with my previous love interest. So, the first step I think towards emotion is emotional literacy. Is to understand what state of emotion you are in right now. So I couldn't do that, and I was doing things that I was not aware of. Like for example, those of you who know MRR2, be it any time of the day, it's always jam. Okay, so sometimes when you're going to work, you are on a very tight schedule, but somehow there are just people on the road who actually makes the whole thing worse. Then do you realize that in your mind you are like playing all these scenarios, like this guy who cuts in front of you, this guy, his father like that, his father never teach him, you tak boleh cuci kereta ke, those kind of things hits you when you're angry, and that some people take it out physically, like in my case, that my previous flame pointed out that I have a tendency to clench my jaw, which I did not know.
Clench your jaw.
Yeah, I used to be like.
Yeah, it's like it's trying to tahan,
Yeah.
right?
So different people have different forms of expressing their emotions, and it's nice to have somebody help you to point out, which I was fortunate enough to have. But it was only one time. After that, I pretty much became self-aware of what state of emotion I was in. But yeah, let's keep emotion for another one more.
One episode.
It's a very interesting topic.
We are keeping to dare to fail.
Yeah.
Have you failed?
Today is dare to fail. Next time we talk about those moments where we went off the rail because of our emotions.
So basically, remember, if you fail to manage your emotion, you will fail to make a good decision.
Okay.
That's a really important lesson in my life. So I hope that you guys can take my experience as an example.
I think let's also appreciate that he shared a very
very intimate.
a very intimate story. Yeah, intimate is the word. A very deep in his heart kind of story.
Correct.
Not on the surface.
When it comes to public and a very personal feeling story, I think it's a brave thing.
And it's
that's why it's
difficult
dare to
to-
speak here. It's difficult.
And it's difficult to open up, and Liam dared to speak.
Yeah.
Coco Liam here.
Coco Liam dared to speak.
Okay.
Okay, shall we move on to ladies who would like to go first?
I think Lian, you can go first. I think Lian, what would be your story, your failing story in your life that impacted you?
I think I'm fortunate enough to say I don't have a very big. I mean, I haven't gone through like a really really big failure in my life that 怎么讲，对我来讲就是能造成非常非常大的影响。我觉得这对我来讲是一种幸运，同时也是一种不幸，因为只要你能经历失败，你才能更勇敢的去变成一个更好的自己。这是我一直相信的这个小小哥的一个建言，应该这样说。那但是不代表就是没有啦，完全没有。如果对我来讲印象最深刻的，可能就是曾经的一段感情，就是 some relationship stop 的啦。所以就是曾经的一段感情让我就是非常的 怎么说，变得我不是很喜欢自己的这个样子。I became someone that I don't like 啦。然后，所以从那个时候开始，就是我变得非常的暴躁啊，我变得非常的容易非常的情绪化，就像回到刚刚李恩讲的那个
emotional
对，就是
emotional
我有让情
control
绪
management
凌驾于我之上，所以我变得不是很喜欢那个版本的自己。但后来之后呢，我觉得我想要找回我自己，我才是最重要的那个因素，我才是最重要的那个人，我应该把我自己放在第一位，所以我就选择好好的，就是把我自己变回我想要的那个样子，或者变回之前的那个样子。
I think the youngster stories is a lot more of to do with emotions. I think I'm the anti version really now.
因为很多东西都是我们讲年轻，就真的很年轻，但是讲不年轻，好像也不是很年轻，因为就20多岁这种尴尬的年纪，你经历的不是很多。
We are not here, we are not there. In between.
就是在一个很尴尬的年纪。
Because I think because she's right, around 20s we don't really have a lot of experience. The only thing we can judge a problem is the first thing confirmed is going to be emotions. After that only logic. Logic only comes later around our age.
Okay. I will share mine. No, like today's topic is about do I dare to fail? I'm not shying away. I'm the eldest in the group here. So I do have failing stories not only on a relationship point of view, on my entrepreneurship journey, even as a person who a trader professionally. All this failing journey, right? I think the big takeaway is never giving up. For me, I've been through life long enough. Okay, at almost now I'm in my 40s. I've been through all the stages, right? I think the key thing is number one, I agree, it's about emotional management. But my story that I want to share today about failing is making wrong decisions. I myself along this journey have made wrong decisions. Hence, it made my journey a bit more challenging. But for me, the takeaways besides emotional management is, can I admit my mistakes first? And then from my mistake itself, be very clear-minded how I want to overcome those mistakes and dare to fail, dare to pick it up again. In my journey, I will share a little bit more on other episodes about my failed journey and how I cope with Roy. Like I said just now, the key thing is that two things, emotional and also dare to admit my mistakes first. And then during this journey, on my failing structures, I had great friends. Great friends, I know who is my friend, who is not. It's a very key thing. You have to identify them very clearly and then get up again, stand up again and go forward again. That's for me lah. In terms of the story detail, we share the next round. Back to Roy.
Okay, so this is the part where I share my story.
Relationship?
And no. Relationship is all too cliche. But right now, at this state that I'm in right now, if I were to stumble upon failure, I tend to ask myself, so what? It's a very easy question. So what? How does this affect me? Because my principle right now is either you win or you learn. There's no such thing as you lose. It's you win or you learn. But then again, I was not like that all the time. There were moments where I too was like Leanne and Liam, who sought to the emotional output once stumbled upon failure. So this story goes back. This is more for the students who are listening. Let's talk about academic failure. We've all been there. We've all done that.
Yeah.
So there was this period of 1 year. I was doing my matriculation in Gopeng, Perak, which was very far from where I am. I was staying there in the hostel, away from family, away from friends. I only had my, those group of friends in the campus. So the environment was very stressful. because the non-Malays were competing with the non-Malays, and the non-Malays in matriculations were the best of the best.
Whoa.
Straight A plus and all
Stress,
that.
yeah.
Very stressed. You look at your neighbor, he's studying. You look to the other neighbor, he's studying at 4 in the morning. So you get all these kind of characters. There are people walking around hostels at night reading their notes. You get this kind of intellectual beings lah. So I also somehow put myself, became like them because I don't want to get left out. So so when my results came out, the first semester, it came out during like a normal class day. So everybody was on the phone, in the lecture. So I saw that I missed one A. I got an A minus on one subject. The others was A. So I did not get 4.0. I got 3.9 something. Not perfect. And
It's good enough for me, way.
bro, most people say it's
Okay.
good enough, but during that moment, it just wasn't good enough. So then I skipped class. I went back to my room. I paused for a while, and like our host today, I sought to the emotional output. I flipped my room from the chair to the mattress. I flipped everything, and I called my dad, because my family is my support in times like this. And I'm brave enough to be vulnerable with them, to tell them that this happened. And when I called my dad and told him what happened, I was a bit like, the urge to like cry and let out like anger kind of cry. My dad asked me one question, like, so what? So what if you got an A minus? So that kind of sparked this way of coping with failure for me. So what if you got an A minus? Is it set in stone that you're destined to fail?
Yeah, I realize a lot of people like to have, when they fail already, they just like to use the failure to define them.
Yeah, true. Yeah, correct. A failure shouldn't define who you are.
Correct.
Like, I've met tons of people who perhaps did not do very well in SPM, but they've turned out to be great friends, great colleagues. People who don't have bachelor's degree, who don't have diploma degree, they're fantastic people at the workplace. So papers and grades and all that shouldn't define who you are, nor should your failure.
Yep.
And I fortunately have been lucky enough to have my parents to back me up. But as for you, if you ever stumble upon a situation where you feel like the whole world is collapsing, that you have no future ahead, you don't see the light at the end of the tunnel, just ask yourself, so what? It's not the end of the world. You can always come back stronger. As it was said in Rocky, it's not how hard you hit, it's how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward.
Such a movie enthusiast.
There's gonna be all these movie dialogues in every episode, because that just happens to be my forte. But thank you, Ling, Lian, and Liam, for being vulnerable. One of the core values that we have here at Dare to Speak also is being vulnerable.
Yep.
Being open, not having a wall, not being this perfect figure, but let's just get vulnerable with each other. Let's see the real color of people instead of what they try to be. So that marks the end of the first question. Now, the next question. Let's not start with you. Let's start with Madam Lian. It's a very open question, but could you please share with us your thoughts on failure? Should it happen? Should it not happen? What do you think of failure?
To me, of course, I think it should happen. There's a saying in Chinese, it goes by 失败乃成功之母.
Oh, means failure is the step of success.
Yes, thank you,
Ah.
thank you. OK， 说失败乃成功之母这个东西，我觉得，既然它能一直流传到现在，因为这是一个非常古老的一个，就是已经流传很久的一个成语或谚语这样子的东西。那我觉得它既然能一直被引用到现在，我觉得当然是有它自己的缘由的。那你可以之所以可以成功，当然是有非常非常多失败的这个先例。那有别人跟你说，这条路是错的，你不要去走，才可以让你一直引领去上对的路。那如果你今天失败的是你不是那个成功的那个人，失败的是你，至少可能你没有办法找到对的路，但至少你找到了一条，就是你知道这条路是行不通的，不能走的。Just like what he said just now,
We all
wrong or
think,
you
yeah,
learn.
mistakes
Yeah.
is where
You win.
learning
You win or you
experience also. I mean, like mistakes. If we don't make mistakes, we're trying to be perfect, right? When you don't have mistakes, you really can't learn. And I am always grateful for my mistakes.
Mistakes.
Because those mistakes taught me what is right, what's wrong. My mom can tell me what is right and what's wrong. Anyone can tell us what's right and wrong to do. But if you just don't have that move to go and do that mistakes or make that mistakes, trust me, you won't learn. I mean, I learned it hard way.
It's like your parents telling you that iron is gonna be hot, but you'll be like, I don't care, I want to try.
Then
Then
you
touch.
touch.
Yeah, yeah.
Then you know like, oh shit, it's hot. I'm not gonna touch it anymore. At least I know this thing is hot. I know I should avoid it.
And I also think that her phrase, that phrase which is, if you don't fail, you don't have mistakes, failure is part of success. I think a lot of people out there who are tuning in, we fail on a lot of things. We make mistakes. Don't say fail. We don't use the word fail first. We make mistakes, and these mistakes itself, right, shouldn't stop us.
就是你跌倒不可怕，但是如果你不爬起来，那个才是最可怕的。
Don't climb again. That will be the biggest thing. So cool.
Coco or Ling?
姐姐 first 啦。
Okay, 姐姐。
Okay. What was the question again?
Your thoughts on failure? What do you think about failure?
Fail.
Okay, okay.
Kids out there, if you're watching this today, I want to tell you this: get out from your comfort zone, go fail, because this part builds you. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. I mean, that's my motto. That's why I dare to fail. You can do anything, you can judge me, you want to define me, but I want to tell you, I became who I am because I dare to fail.
Coco?
My one is very simple. I'm not gonna go for long speech. Just that everybody is correct, to be honest. You won't know what is success if you know what is failure. Yeah, if you taste sweet only, right, you won't know what is bitter. There's always a pair. So you have to know what is A, then only you can know what is B.
Correct?
Yes.
Yin yang.
Correct.
Yin and the yang.
Yes. There's no just there's not gonna be just success. You have to fail, then you know that there's another thing I can try that can make me happy, which is success. Straight and simple, fail first.
Yeah,
Then
I agree with everything that's been said. And also, as Winston Churchill once said, success is not final, failure is not fatal.
Yeah.
It's the courage to move on. Winston Churchill. Okay, so building on what they said, I believe that everyone should fail. Fail at sports, fail at relationship, fail at life, fail at work, fail at writing, fail at singing, fail, but drop if you must. Like the Chinese version that Leanne just said, there's also a version that was in Batman, when the father asks Bruce Wayne, why do we fall? And the answer is so that we can learn to pick ourselves up.
Yep.
So we need to fall, otherwise we will never learn to pick ourselves up.
Correct.
But then most people just tend to stop at failing. They don't really pick up the lesson, they don't really find out why they fail, and they don't try to find solutions to turn that failure upside down. So then comes this concept of failing smarter, so that you do not repeat the same mistakes
I like it.
again, and you are better prepared for future failures. If you're gonna fail at something, and if you're just gonna remain lazy and not find a reason as to why you failed, it's gonna keep coming after you, just in different field.
But I got something to talk about that, because nowadays, right, it's not that they are lazy. I believe that a lot of people afraid
Of
the
failing.
pain.
Afraid of even trying.
Because the pain hit them. I believe first failure always hit you the most.
Yes.
That's why they are
agree.
afraid to have that in the future.
I agree. Fair point.
The part where I did this, because while I was doing training, dealing with lots of people who come to me when they have failing stories, right? I agree with you. A lot of people don't dare to fail is because they're scared of the pain,
Agree.
or they already passed through a pain.
Agree.
Okay, but I want to say for those people who have been through the pain, okay, it might hurt, it might hurt, but like any wound, it will heal. And that wound itself is a reminder for you the next round, don't do it again or do better.
True.
So those who don't dare to even take that first move, I want to say this: experience life. We only live life once, okay? And if you don't fail, don't try to do that, take that first move forward, right? I can only tell you, life, you can't smell it. You
Agree.
really can't smell it.
Agree. True. So building on what he said, that some people are afraid to fail. I mean, let's just be really frank. How far can you avoid? How long can you avoid? Some people try to run away from it so they don't try something new, and that, in the very essence, by default, is not living. I think J.K. Rowling did mention about previously. I forgot what the quote was exactly, but you should fail. And if you try to live your life so cautiously that you are avoiding to fail, you're just simply not living.
Yeah.
It's just a reiteration of what J.K. Rowling has said before. So you have to fail. My opinion, you have to fail, but fail smarter. Do not repeat the same mistakes.
I think J.K. Rowling, this story is very real too.
Yeah.
Because J.K. Rowling herself had her first book
Rejected.
only printed out, and everybody started laughing at her at the very start of it. And she only had her first printed book at 51. You know, KFC, Starbucks story. I think you guys can just go back
plenty
history.
of success stories.
Success story.
For those
Everybody
of you who don't
failed.
know, J.K. Rowling is the author of Harry Potter.
Yes.
Right? So everyone has a very interesting success story. One of them was also for Sylvester Stallone, for the first Rocky movie. For those of you who've seen Rocky, for me, that's one of the best movies I've ever seen. Very inspirational, very motivational. But before it got into production, the script was rejected. Many studios didn't want to do it. Many studios did not want Sylvester Stallone to be the star. They wanted someone else, but he persevered. He tried his own way. Eventually, he got it. And now look at where he is.
Correct.
If he would have been afraid to even try, to even write a script, I don't think the world would even know of Sylvester Stallone.
Correct.
But because of what he did, the rest is history. So I think everyone here agrees that failure is a part of life, and trying to avoid it definitely is not living. So if you feel like trying to work out, if you feel like trying to go for a jog, if you feel like writing, singing, give it a try. Who knows, you might be good at it. And if you fail, so what?
Yes.
At least you can tell people, I've tried, it's not my cup of tea.
And I believe, right, always actually failure makes a good story.
Yeah.
Yeah, if when you're success, right, you can tell people, I did this, I did this, I did
Right.
this, and
It
now
makes you human.
Yeah, and now here I am.
Yeah.
Sure.
It makes you more human. I mean, you have all these scars and you have all these wounds, which are actually just stories to tell people.
Correct.
You know, that's the cool thing about failures. You fail, you move on, but then they become stories for you to share.
Correct.
Inspirational stories, motivational stories. Okay, let's get on to the third question. We've all four been in the workforce. We've all four held high positions. We've also been police or caliphates. The question here is, can a leader fail?
Can.
Who would like to go first?
I'll go first. Can. I want to tell you, being a leader, right? The trick of the job is fail, make mistakes with yourself or with the team. You know why? Because then only you can get to experiment how you can do better. Because if you tell me anyone in the workforce or the viewers there who were in the workforce, if you have never failed in your job, never got screwed by your bosses, I say, but I want to say, if you fail doing that, you can actually do it better. So, and back to the question, be leaders, can we fail? Yes. And leaders should be the one failing again and restart again. Because then only they can become better leaders.
Correct.
For me lah. Okay, guys. How about Lian?
因为我自己没有，我自己自认我不是一个非常好的领导，但是我觉得非常多的领导会怎么说害怕失败的原因，我不能说全部领导，但是有一部分领导会害怕失败的原因是他会很害怕自己失去他的这个所谓领导能力。
Trust.
Oh, okay. The leadership.
Yes, leadership. Losing leadership 并不可怕。对我来讲，你在一件事情上面失败了，其实如果你能非常好的去come back from the failure，其实会让你的这个
More respect, earn more respect, more
respect from it。所以我觉得，无论你是不是领导，你去处理，就是你面对你失败的这个时候的这个方式或者能力，其实会让别人就是对你有别的想法或者
刮目相看。
Yes
刮目相看 means a new eye refresher.
new aspect.
Because
Fresh perspective,
fresh
yeah.
perspective.
Otherwise, you're just stagnant.
Yeah.
You don't get any new
Growth,
challenges.
growth is triggered by all this.
You earn your own reputation, huh?
True.
For me,
Coco?
I agree to you guys because you see now you imagine a scenario. You got two different kind of leaders. One, leader A is the one that fails, but he doesn't admit, he puts the blame on the team. This is the example. I believe
That's the I leader.
I believe everybody face this.
Yes.
Okay, the leader fucked up, failed, then blame the member, blame the team, but he does not blame him or herself.
Take the ownership.
Now,
Take the ownership.
Finger pointer. And that's a leader B. Leader B, he knows that he or she failed, but they come up with some solution that you can't even expect, and they solve it. They make the whole team going. This is what I believe, right? If the leader fail and can solve it, right, that's the power, not the pointing finger. Leader can fail, but how they solve it is the power.
I think the key thing to conclude that this thing will be, if it's a person, if the leader use the word I, it's a boss, the old traditional boss. If you are a good leader, you are a great leader, it's a we. We fail together, we rise together.
Hoorah.
Because if if your leaders fails a lot, right, the leader will learn and know how to solve problems. If the leader doesn't fail, right, when a problem arises, right, the first thing you're gonna do, point fingers. Why does this happen? So I believe a leader should fail, and that then only it will increase what Lian just mentioned, leadership.
I think the word is not should fail. I think the thing here is must fail. So that's the whole topic why. Have to fail, have to make mistakes, have to learn from our mistakes.
You can consider failure like let's go back to the working out industry. Every time you lift a weight, especially in the beginning stages, your skin tend to have this wear and tears. They call it calluses. So you can consider failure as something like that. Once you fail, the skin the skin will grow back, and it's even stronger than before.
Tahan nasak.
Yes, so you just keep wear and tear until to a point where you are solid. Your arm is freaking solid. So you can treat failure as something like that. For those leaders especially, based on what the three wonderful hosts has mentioned, it's okay to fail, but then what's the next step? How are you going to bounce from it? And most importantly, for those leaders out there, it's very important for you to acknowledge the failure and not be like what Coco Liam say, a finger pointer. It's this guy's fault. It's that whose head is going to be on the chopping block. That's the wrong principle. If anybody's head is going to be on the chopping board, it should be you as the leader, because the team is based on you. You are the guide. So if anyone is going to get the boot, it's you. So also as a leader, it's important to be vulnerable. You should tell your team that I screwed up.
Yep.
And trust me, when you have a very strong team with you, a team that is engaged, you will find solutions once you are vulnerable.
Yes.
You will find members stepping up.
Correct.
Boss, we could have tried this. Boss, let's try this. Boss, let's bounce back. And in fact, when you're vulnerable, not only as a leader, people will trust you more. People will respect you more. If you are seen as this perfect figure, nobody will want to go near you.
Correct.
Because they know they are flawed and they cannot keep up with you. So they are afraid of you. But if you're a leader who has this safe space that it's okay to fail, but of course we don't abuse it. We don't purposely abuse it. So if you create this safe space that it's okay to fail as a leader, trust me, your organization will be in higher spirits, much more engaged. And if you're a revenue-driven company, trust me, you'll see the cash coming in. Okay, so can leaders fail? We all four agree?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, next question. Speaking of the safe space, how can we encourage conversations about failure? There are some people out there within the audience, I'm sure, who are not comfortable about speaking of a particular failure. They tend to bottle it up. So how do you promote that?
But I have to recap the question.
How do you encourage
How do we encourage?
conversations about failure? Let's say if you have failed, some people cannot bring it to their parents because the parents will judge you. The parents will think like, okay, this child is not very bright. You can't bring it to your friends because if your friends are high achievers, you cannot go to them. So, how do you encourage this kind of conversation? What should you do? What's your role in society?
I think the key question here, I mean the key answer for me in this will be like, so what? First you fail, and then if people were to be judgmental to you, do they actually feed your meal on that table first? So if you fail already and you call out for help, it's okay. It's okay. But before you call for help, why are you judging something that you cannot be in control? You are trying to control someone's reaction towards you, whatever you're. Yes, assumption.
It's just
and
an assumption.
I feel this is also why mental health gets affected. You are already judging something or assuming the worst of things, and when you do this, you amplify it. You amplify it, and you choose to try to solve it on your own. I mean, it's good that we can try to solve it on our own, but when we can't, it's okay to ask for help.
It's okay to ask for help.
And don't care your age. I'm like I say, I'm the auntie here, the oldie here, and I go out there and I ask people for help. And to my amaze, even though I was shy at that point, feel that I cannot say what I want to say about my failures and stuff like that, I feel like the moment I started voicing out,
it's like a sense of relief.
Relief, and then the universe just delivers. I don't know. We can discuss that on the next round on my session. So,
are you guys comfortable sharing failures?
I believe, I mean, you guys who knows me, right? I like to share my stories. I always tell about, I mean, my past, about my families, my father issue, about my work, all these things, right? I believe if you want to encourage someone to talk, right? For how I did it is that usually I will talk to another person about my problems. I'm not afraid to talk it out or share, because when I'm open to people, right, some people automatically open to you. They feel like, I believe this guy can be trusted. He's willing to share me his story, and he's willing to tell me how he go through these hardships. Then those people will start to share, so that those people know that I believe that he won't judge me, he won't criticize me. It's okay to try to share. So this is how I usually encourage people to talk lah. Because for you to, if you want to let people to open up to you, you yourself have to open up to people. Correct. If you do not if you do not move the first step, don't expect people to move for you as well. So this is how I do it lah.
I think this question falls into introverts.
Me, myself, I'm very introvert lah, I'm an introvert kind. So, 但是我同时是一个非常好强的人，我不喜欢别人看到我
Failure.
失败
The
的
one I see the
但
failure.
是后来我曾经有一段时间，就是我觉得我跟别人讲我的失败，这个现象会让我觉得我自己会一直沉浸在这个失败的这个情况里面。但后来我发现，只有我自己去想这个问题的时候，我才会更加走不出来。我才是把我自己锁进那个笼子里面的那个人。所以后来我就觉得，只要我跟别人讲我失败的这个原因、失败的这个事情之后呢，我会觉得，因为我是个很要强的人，然后就觉得我在跟他分享我为什么会失败，这是一个反省的过程以外，我也同时在提醒我自己，我不要再犯同样的错。所以我觉得这是一个非常怎么说，它是一个非常漫长的过程，你会觉得它很难开口，很难讲。但是后来你会觉得，就是因为我一直觉得有一句话，就是 you either take your failure as a blessing or a lesson。所以 就是你要看你要怎么去吸取这个教训，你的方式是什么样，然后它给你带来什么东西，这完全是你自己可以决定的东西来的。
I think for what Lian just mentioned is that, like, for introverts, right, for people who feel shy to share your failing story or ask for help, right, I mean, it's a process. No one can change overnight. For us, an introvert, to suddenly go out and say, hey, you know what, I failed. But try. take that one step forward and get out there and seek help, or even just share your story of failing. Actually, it's an auto reflection, like a mirror reflection for you to learn what's next. I think the key here is fall, what's next? So what? What's next?
Yeah, I would like to add, for me, a few years ago, I picked up this fact that failures are actually turning points in your life.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
It was a very deep statement. Failures are actually turning points. So it's a wake-up call that you have been doing this wrong, you're not prepared for this, it's time to wake up, it's time to pick up these skills. So I embrace failure, but I have a little bit of me that is similar to what Leanne said. I hope I got the Chinese right. Were you saying that you were afraid to show people your failure?
Show people my weakness.
Show people my weakness. Sometimes I'm very amazed by people who are confident to show people their girlfriends. I'm very amazed at that, because sometimes, okay, if let's say today I bring Madam A and the whole world knows I'm with Madam A, after 1.5 years or 2 years, Madam A is out of the picture. I hate answering the question, what happened to Madam A? I do not like the question. To me, I don't feel, there's no pride in that question.
You know what? In recent, someone taught me this. It's your relationship. You are accountable for your own actions, your own thing. If that relationship fails, and if you fail that relationship, you don't need to explain to anyone. It is your relationship.
Correct. Yeah, I mean, I'm flawed. I am not perfect. I have my flaws as well. One of them is this. So when I used to be in relationships, I was never the kind to expose. I was never the kind to take pictures of her and post on my story, OOTD or
Rather, we live life once, okay? Flaunt it when you have it.
Somehow I get you.
or like posting the story like today I went out for a drive with my partner, posing and all that. I don't do that because I always do not like it when later on there's nothing, I don't post anything with her and people ask me. So I don't post. But trust me, even if I don't post, I still get in trouble with her. She will be asking me, do I not believe in her? Am I not the one for you? So there's trouble both sides. It's just which one is more.
Which one you can tahan.
Correct. I think Roy pointed out something that I would like to look into on my next episode on mental health. When it comes to relationship, right? Like I said, life we only live once. Live means, of course, everybody got different way. You want to post it on social media or not? It's one thing, okay? But be out there. I can only advise the youngsters who are viewing in, right? Really, if it's a relationship, have it, flaunt it, okay? I mean, it's your person. You don't need to like go all out, but those memories captured down, and if that relationship fails,
You still have those memories.
you have those memories. Dollars you put it on camera or not, on social media or not, it built you. So please don't like shy off. Live, really live. So
Very, very deep stuff.
yeah, but yeah, I'll tell you guys a little bit more on the next round.
But so to wrap up this question, how to encourage conversations about failure, I think Coco Liam summed it up very well. You go first. If you meet somebody new, a new friend, and you want to build that camaraderie, that trust there, just expose your failure. There's no shy in that. If you really believe that you want to have that person as a friend, like when I newly met this bunch, this amazing bunch of people that I've met. There's of course that skepticism, like, am I going to be long-term friends with this person? So you try to be all walled up, you're not exposing. But then once you realize that I want these people to be my friends, I want these people to be in my circle, how do we move forward to have a stronger sense of trust? We'll be vulnerable. I tell you when I fail, and they will open up as well. So you learn from their mistake and you understand that person better. If this guy has a particular failure that he's not good at, you cover that patch, and he will do the same for you.
I think for this Dare to Fail story, right, there will be so much more we can bring in on the coming episodes. What we are trying to achieve today on this episode is a surface thing to let you know that
It's okay.
fail. It's okay to fail, and what comes next on the coming episode, individually, Roy will be bringing up more topics about how to cope. I think all these details that we're talking about will be more detailed, presented on the coming few things. Is there any more questions for Dare to Fail?
Do we have time for one more?
Okay.
A quick one.
Okay, a quick one.
Okay. Should you face failure alone?
I think the last question answered this. We can fail.
And it's okay to ask for help.
It's okay to ask for help means you don't need to feel that you're feeling alone. I want to tell you, everyone out there fails. Dollars is say it or don't say it. I want to tell you, everybody fails in something. Make mistake on something. So you're not alone. We fail.
If it's a true friend, then he or she will be there, ups and downs.
And if he's not there, he's not a
Yeah,
true
he's
friend.
not-
Cut him
Yeah,
off.
cut it off.
Cut him off.
Cut toxic off.
We don't need too many friends also in this world.
Correct.
Okay.
You can
So,
have acquaintance.
You can have acquaintance. Yeah. So we have another segment after this, a much more fun segment. But to wrap up this thing, about failure, as Ling, Leanne, and Liam have all said, it's okay to fail. It's okay to ask for help. It's okay to also offer help. And so instead of asking, if you ever stumble upon a situation of a failure or something where some moment where you feel the world is crumbling on you, instead of asking why is this happening to me, why don't you ask yourself, what is this trying to teach me?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You know,
Yes. Good
in case
takeaways.
if you fail at something, what is the lesson here to be learned? Because that lesson is a turning point for you. It's a wake-up call for you. And once you figured it out, consistency is key.
Yeah.
Be
Yeah.
consistent. Ask yourself what is this trying to teach you, and embrace that teaching. That's pretty much how you cope with failure.
So if you, I mean, like if you stumble upon failure, right? Like what they say, so what? What next? Don't ask about what if I did this. No what if, what next, and so what.
Yeah.
That's how you're gonna make your life easier.
Take control of your life.
Yeah, don't let it take control of you. And when I say don't let it take control of you, I mean like what Liam says, the what ifs. Trust me, the questions are actually very toxic and very, it drags you down. What if this? What if that? Should I have? Could I have? These are not very nice questions to ask. You can't change what has happened. Think about moving on.
And then when you stop the what if, and when you just go do it, trust me, years down the road, you will thank yourself for that.
Hoorah!
Alright? Now comes the
Here comes the a bit less
So-
informal fun part.
correct. So every time when we finish there to speak on a serious note on serious topics, we always end debunk the myth. So it's a question, a myth. We try to challenge the myth and discuss the myth openly in a more laid-back scenario. So I think this week we have one question from the community.
Okay, before that, should we do a recap of last week's myth?
Okay, wait. That myth we haven't. I mean, no doubt we spoke about last week's myth was about using potatoes to clear away your past sexual energy. That we'll be discussing, like the coming episode. But that we are still on that myth, clearing that myth part. That is more on the sexual part. But I think today we have
Another myth, yeah.
Another myth that the community has asked to us to talk about. So
Okay, so
shoot away.
So I'm gonna lay the myth out there. Should couples share everything?
Gee.
Who would like to go first?
Okay. Okay. You know what? For me is that I think share everything when it comes to relationship, because I am talking to most of you guys on double L, which is LGBTQ relationship, and I talk about mental health also. I think the key thing here is this: sharing everything. You also need to know your boundaries. Sometimes it's the old saying, if you want to love someone, you have to love yourself first. So sharing everything, yes, but sharing what? Okay, so if we are talking about, I think the myth is normally going to ask about share your
Scandals.
past stories and stuff like that. I think you can learn from the past history, but sharing this story is if your partner is up for it lah. But if you know your partner is not up for it, I think you can like have this disclaimer first lah. I don't know. How about you guys, the younger generation? Because I do share my stories.
For me, right, usually I'll share everything to my partner.
Transparent.
Yeah, everything. It's like my exes, my life, what am I doing, where am I? Usually about. Okay, so I have a lot of friends who are girls, and I'm very serious. I'll just tell, okay, my friends are all girls, so I'm going out with A, B, C, so I hope that you're okay with it. At least I'm honest, she's okay with it. Yeah, I'm very transparent. But sometimes she will, if I keep mentioning something, of course she will be pissed.
Yeah.
I mean, like, ex stories, of course she'll be pissed, but at least she knows that, I'm this kind of guy. Yeah, I believe
I'm
sharing.
the flamboyant kind of guy.
I'm toward that thinking of sharing is caring. I'm caring, so I'm sharing.
So for you, the myth will be it's okay to share everything.
It's okay to share.
Yeah, me too.
Because I want to build trust.
Yes, sharing everything is
I'm not
also trying to build trust.
Correct, because I got nothing to hide.
Transparency lah, but I also say lah, what you share, please set a disclaimer. I mean, open communication is very important in a relationship. So yeah, we share, but communicate even the difficult topic.
Yeah, because actually, I believe a lot of relationship issue, right? All because of misunderstanding. Some people don't want to share. They keep it like, it's okay, you don't understand. Don't worry lah, just trust me. But you're not giving the trust. I'm like, you don't have that something concrete to let that partner trust. So I'm sharing this. Okay, now you can trust me. I'm caring for your emotion. So I don't want you to be angry, and I don't want you to be worried. So I'm sharing. This is my point of view.
This view already done. I'm looking at Lian. So like Lian, really, is sharing everything.
Should couples share everything?
Couples share everything.
对我来讲啦，the everything，除了如果它涉及原则性问题，that means like 它是不被允许的这个范围以外的话呢，
What is 不被允许? I mean, what is cannot be said in a relationship?
比如讲，他已经碰触到道德底线。
Oh, moral ethics.
Yeah.
Like if there are things that
I mean, they memang got right and wrongs
Wrong.
in a relationship. As long as it's not wrong to like simpan that secret, then I think.
But the whole story here is that are you willing is our couples need to share everything or not? Means when you
To
say
me,
that
no,
oh
because 如果你问起来 if you are curious, 你问起来 of course okay, I can tell you, but then I will not be the one that 主动讲这个东西. You get?
Trying
okay,
to
wait,
process.
viewers out there, while we debunk the myth, four of us, we want to hear your views about this also.
Should couples share
couples
everything?
share everything? And I think this is a very good topic that Lian and Liam can carry on the Thursday night live with them, which is late night with Lian and Liam, which is all about relationship. I think it's a topic that should go. It's not only a
Debatable.
Yeah, it's debatable.
It's not
but
only debunkable, it's debatable.
yeah, it's debatable. And I think what Lian says about no, you don't need to share everything, and when it comes to certain thing that is moral triggered, right? I got this question to Lian. Like if you say moral trigger, I mean affairs. Yeah, but if you're together and you have affairs, I mean you don't tell the other parties because you already had affairs, really wrong, correct?
Yeah, that's wrong.
But the question here is, if you had an affair, will you want to tell your other half?
No.
Like I said,
It's an affair.
Yes, it's an affair. But yeah, I think that one you leave it to the next
Another day.
another day.
但是你会不会有 affair 这个又是另外一个问题。你有没有跟你会不会有？
This one really follow Lian because Lian and Liam will be discussing this on the relationship channel.
They are
which
both
is-
the affairs expert.
Yeah, the affairs expert. Oops. Okay, but I think let's say this clearly. We would like to hear from you.
Yeah.
Dare to speak. It's not about us. No doubt. Yes, we are sharing our story. We hope it also gives you courage to share your story with us as we build this episode as it goes. So today we talk about dare to fail. We talk about the debunk the myth, which is should couples share everything. I think for me here, I'm learning from three of you here, and we want to learn from you too. So please correct us if we said something wrong.
Right.
All right. Please challenge our topic.
Challenge.
Okay.
agree or
Because
disagree?
yes, we want to hear from you.
Can we go back to the myth? I'd like to build on what Leanne
Okay.
said.
Listening.
Currently, right now, we have one person who says we should share,
2%.
we should share, we shouldn't share, and I think we shouldn't share. Why? I like my safe space. I like my moments. You know, I do not like the constant update. I'm having lunch. I'm having chicken chop. I'm going for a walk in the park. I'm going here. I'm not there to report to you. So I'm against sharing everything, but I am also against lying. Yeah. So
There's a fine line.
There's a fine line. There's a fine line of things you don't tell that will not be detrimental to the relationship.
I think-
It's a safe thing even if you don't tell, but if it's gonna affect the relationship, you should tell. Like example, affairs. I think if you were to, I mean, it's easier said than done, but in an ideal scenario, I've no experience in this. So in an ideal scenario, if you have had an affair, the right thing to do, I say the right thing to do, is to go and tell your partner about it. You should tell because you screwed up. You have to own up to it and let your partner judge you. That moment is for him to decide or
Yeah.
her. Or
Give
what you
people a
did.
right to
Yeah.
choose.
You screwed up. Do not screw it up even more by covering it up. Then it's gonna be lies after lies after lies. One affair leads to another affair, and so on and so forth. So I do not think that people should share everything. I do enjoy my privacy. I do enjoy my me time. A little bit of space away from her
But
is good.
I don't think everybody, when it comes to tell your partner everything, means report everything lah. But I'm just saying that like it's good to just update when you want to on your
Some
own
of them
pace.
cannot. Some of them don't.
That one I agree.
You know, they
some
don't
people just
care.
have to like.
I want to know where you are.
Why you never take photo? Why you never?
What are you eating?
Who are you with?
Ah.
Who are you with? Where
And
are you?
I think this challenge the next question, which is trust and respect in a relationship. That I leave it to Lian and Liam on their next episode on the relationship.
Right?
So, did we cover it all? Okay,
That's all for me.
I think.
So right now, as for us, we have two who feel that we shouldn't share everything, and we have two who feel that they should share everything. So that's the conclusion we've come on the myth of should couples share everything. I will pass it to Ling to wrap up episode 2 of Dare to Speak.
So, for the viewers out there, we thank you for your time to sit down and just watch four of us blah 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 blah. Okay, but want to say that we enjoy doing every episode for you guys, and we just can't wait to again hear from you guys. Like I said, it's all about you. Please use this channel and our community, our Telegram. Please, you can see on the lower part of it, please sign up on our Telegram, our community. Just join our community. We have activities, not only on this episode sessions, we have multiple episodes coming up, and we have individual hosting episodes. We also have activities that will be coming out on our workshops. Please stay tuned. We not only just talk, we also try to walk the talk, means we will bring you guys together, not only on our episodes, but we'll bring you on live events, so that you can communicate with us and we can learn from you
Right.
face to face.
It's of the people, for the people, by the people.
Yeah. So any last words, guys?
Follow our Instagram, follow our Facebook, join our community.
Whoosh.
Whoosh.
Yes, Che, Lian already said. So see you guys next week. I'm Ling signing off. Bye.
Bye.
Hello guys, welcome to Dare to Speak. Today we're gonna talk about failure.
Or as we say, dare to fail.
Have you guys failed before? I did.
喂，现在还会讲啊？哈，又没有东西讲啊。